Write down this information. This is very important. Lady contacted me from the Valdez oil spill. She wrote a book about all the chemicals, what happens, the health effects, what it has been doing to the residents of that area over the years. She actually told me what is wrong with this kid that I was just introduced the other day at the oil meeting that I had at the Brickyard on August 21st. And she knew the name of the chemical that caused it, she knew the disease, and this kid, he cannot stand up if he squats down. Something's wrong with his legs, it's in his blood, and a lot of people are sick. So please go to this site. You might be able to help yourself or your children or someone, a neighbor or somebody in the community. This could help people in the Gulf and Michigan or any other oil spill. This is very important. Please write this down. Please look at it. Please read it. And please try to tell your doctors to look at some of this stuff, because you might be able to figure out what's wrong with your children.
This is a scar that he developed last summer, and it kind of went on his stomach and it went all the way around his back side.
So it's on his back here, all the way around.
And they didn't know why or what it was.
Well, you said he got a rash from when the oil spill happened.
Right, it happened after the oil spill, but they couldn't tell me what it was from. And his brother had it from his chest all the way down his whole. Your brother's got a rash right now, doesn't he? Yeah. From head to toe. They don't know what it is.
Well, a lot of people think it's from the oil, so
we think it is, but you can't prove it.
There's no way to prove it.
The doctor does, he's the one, show him, Corey, can you crouch down? If he gets down, he can't get back up. I know it isn't funny, but
that's hard to get up.
He got trapped outside one time like that. Can you get up? Without touching anything.
So your muscles hurt, or what hurt?
Enbridge.
Why don't you like Enbridge?
Because they just keep ruining other people's lives.
What do you mean? Whose lives have they ruined?
They've messed up my brothers, my sisters.
What about you?
Mine and other people.
What's wrong with you?
I have leg problem.
And your legs hurt, right? And didn't you say that he's got the rashes, and of course I'll add that in.
Right.
So you can scoot over out of the light, I think. But so what do you want to tell them?
They're just wasting money covering up the oil.
And they're not cleaning it up right?
Yeah, we saw them pouring lots of dirt down there, didn't we, Corey?
Yeah.
Saw them pouring lots of sand and dirt. We didn't know what they were doing, though, at the time.
Right. Well, a lot of times when they put the sand, it's not for the right reasons.
Well, we didn't know why they were pouring sand over there, and dirt, but they were pouring it around the river's edge and over on the little island where all the ducks and stuff used to hang out.
So they were putting dirt over the oil.
Over the oil. That's what we said. It looked like they were. You could see the sheens of oil, and then after they dumped the dirt, it kind of carried it down to the bottom.
Yep.
That's what it looked like it was doing.
This detergent-looking stuff they were putting in there to soak it up.
Oh,
They didn't want us to see that. And they chase you off. And then...
they put chemicals in there?
Yeah, they had big bags of this white stuff. They were just pouring it in. Semis and semi-fulls of it.
Of liquid?
It wasn't liquid. It was like a foamy substance that was a detergent kind of thing. It was supposed to catch the oil, soak up the oil.
Oh,
Besides the round stuff that they were using, the booms, this was besides that. This was the stuff they were trying to stop everybody from seeing. They had semis and semis full, and then they ended up...
You're one of the first people that has really documented that they use chemicals here. I don't
know if it was chemicals or what the detergent stuff was.
They said they didn't use anything. They lied to us.
Well, they lied to that guy that was working where they covered it up, put screen and quick grass stuff, and he was walking through it, and he had brand new Carhartts on. He had oil up to his chest. That was
might be hard to read, but it's very important for you. This states that there was a mandatory 1,000-foot evacuation that Enbridge never told nobody about, and that anybody that was tricked into signing waivers by Enbridge before the Senate hearings, they can rip all those up, they can get an attorney, they can still sue, and for their health and inconvenience. So please put this on pause and read it. All right? Ready? Pause. Okay, I hope you read this, and I hope you pass it along to anybody that you think might need this. This is how serious it is. Look at the MSDS sheet, and you will see how toxic these chemicals are and how much they can hurt you. It'll cause death, coma, so many sicknesses, and I'm trying to do something about it. I'm trying to inform the people. Thank you. And this is the bottom half of what you just saw. It's from Congressman Shower when he was congressman during the oil spill and during the congressional hearings. And this states that the alarms at Enbridge were going off for 13 hours straight. Now, we have people that have testified that live right next to where the oil spill is that say it happened 2 days before they're reporting it. So what if that's true? And what if there was 2 million gallons that spilled into the river and Enbridge is lying? What if the spill happened a day before they're saying, 2 days before, and all that oil they're just not trying to tell the public about because they didn't want it to be bigger than what they want you to think it is. So please push pause and read this and pass it along. Thank you.
I work at Burger King in Marshall, and the fumes were overwhelming there. I saw some gentleman in a truck. I worked a double that day. I opened the store and I closed the store. And I asked them what was going on. I noticed they were in an oil truck. And they said, oh, we're looking for an oil leak. Somebody's underground tank or something sprung a leak.
So they lied to you?
Yeah. And later that night, I saw them coming back. I said, oh, did you ever find your oil spill? And he's like, yeah, it was shooting straight up in the air.
So you feel
I tire real easy.
You feel it's because of all the benzene and the chemicals you breathe in?
I got 11 rose bushes here that died because of the fumes.
Wow. So all your bushes here died because of the fumes, and last year they were healthy.
Oh yeah, I had rose bush here. I had big one right here, biggest red roses. And
wow. So what do you want Enbridge to do? Do you think they should pay you for all your time sitting here in these chemicals, breathing this in? Your health is bad, your doctor bills. Did you say something about that?
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, we went to the doctor, and they finally gave us the authorization to go. They made the appointment. We went over and seen the doctor. Well, he sent me to the hospital in Battle Creek to get some
test,
X-rays and stuff. Well, the woman said, well, you have to pay for it. And I said, no, I don't have any money, or I don't have any insurance. I don't have any health insurance right now. So we sat there and called Enbridge to get okayed to get the blood work done, or the blood work and the test done. And then after we get it all back, they said, no, we ain't gonna pay it.
So Enbridge won't pay for your medical bills now, even if.
Well, they just sent me another paper and stuff, and they says, well, we'll pay all medical from now on and everything.
But are they going to pay the past medical?
They said they're going to reimburse me now.
Well, you want to know why? Because you went to that meeting and you complained about it. Mm-hmm. But if you wouldn't have went to that meeting, you wouldn't have complained. This is the air quality test documents from the EPA. On 7/30/2010, the benzene level was 1,700 parts per billion. Okay? This is very important. Listen to what I have to say. Only 6 is the legal amount. These residents were living in benzene so toxic that it will kill you. And they were forced to live right there in Terry's home in the worst toxic chemicals of oil known to mankind. And he was not told about it for several days. He was not offered a hotel room. And they are very sick. Very, very sick. Material safety data sheet for Enbridge. We just was given this information by an inside guy that works for Enbridge, but he's sick and tired of what they're doing, so I got this information. Crude oil, heavy petroleum crude, heavy crude. So we're going over all the documents right now that were secretly given to us, and hopefully they will help. Some of the chemicals that are in it. And let me turn the page. And this is what's scary, okay? Ingestation. Ingestation may result in nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and central nervous system, and depression. Aspiration of liquid into the lungs must be avoided, as even small quantities, do you see that? Small quantities in the lungs can produce chemical pneumonitis, pulmonary edema, hemorrhage, and even death. Do you see that? So they want your kids to get in there. There's chunks of oil that still pop up that are in the mud, and guess what? If they swallow this stuff, it can cause death. Another thing, when they breathed it in for 2 months straight, I mean, some of them have breathed it in for a year, but some of the high levels were for 2 months. But it says prolonged and excessive exposure may cause irritation to the nose, throat, lungs, and respiratory tract, which may lead to headache, nausea, drowsiness, fatigue, pneumonitis, pulmonary edema, CNC depression, coma, and respiratory arrest. Alright, you breathe this in for a long period of time, prolonged and excessive exposure, and guess what? Coma and respiratory arrest. We've had several people that die, and Enbridge has the nerve to say that nothing that they did caused any of that. Their own MSDS sheet says that that could have killed them. I mean, breathing this in for months, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for months. Enbridge material safety data sheet, and just to show you, the flash point is at 100 degrees. This can catch on fire just in normal sunlight. Wow. This is Husky Energy material safety data sheet, MSDS. Phone number and address if you ever need to contact them. It's heavy crude, and we're going to read what it says about breathing it in. You need to protect the rescuer, move exposed person to fresh air. Okay, they weren't moved to fresh air for like a week, most of these people, and some not at all. If breathing has stopped, apply artificial respiration. What do you mean breathing stopped? The EPA and Enbridge say that this won't hurt you. And it says seek medical attention. Ingestation. If swallowed, do not induce vomiting or give liquid. Seek immediate medical attention. They don't want the liquid to mix with the oil and enter your body further through the bloodstream, I believe. Then over here, we're going to get to the part where chronic effects. Alright? This product may contain benzene. Benzene has been classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer as a Group 1 product, indicating sufficient evidence of carcinogenity. Sorry for some of these words are hard for me. Studies exist which report a link to crude oil and reproductive effects, including fatal tumors and menstrual disorders. This product contains small quantities of xylene. High exposure to xylene has produced phytotoxic effects in animals studies. The product contains small quantities of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Prolonged contact with these compounds has been associated with the induction of skin and lung tumors. This product may contain toluene, which is known to cause visual impairment, narcissus, anxiety, muscle fatigue, insomnia, dermatitis, paralysis, liver and kidney damage, and to affect production. And I want you to read this, all right? So we'll set it right here, and go ahead.
My name is Ann Gregory.
Can you speak up, please?
My name is Ann Gregory.
All right, and you mentioned that you were sick from the oil spill?
When the oil spill come through that morning, I was deathly sick. I was lightheaded, dizzy, sick at my stomach, throwing up, vomiting, having diarrhea, and that went on for about 2 weeks. And finally, Bill, my friend here, come back from Florida, and he said, "You're going to the hospital." Said, "You can't go on." Like, I didn't know what was making me sick. I just thought, I don't know what's making me sick. I've never been like this before. And when I went into the hospital, I said, "I don't know what it is, but all I know is I've smelled those fumes from the river. It was raw, crude oil. It was the horriblest smell you ever smelled in your life. And it was coming in my windows that morning, just coming all in the windows." And I thought, "Oh my God." And I was just deathly sick for 2 or 3 weeks until I went to the hospital, and then they got me feeling a little bit better. But this has been an ongoing thing. I've been sick at my stomach it's just an ongoing thing, and I just have vomiting, diarrhea, headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness, and shortness of breath. And I've never been like this before until that mess come through.
Now your important story, because you mentioned that Enbridge paid for your medical bills?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Okay.
We had a guy come to the house. His name was Robert.
His last name was Robert.
That's fine.
Anyway, he come to the house and he left one of these little things on my back door. And he said if we had any problems to contact him. So I contacted him, and that's when they went ahead and paid my hospital bill.
Well, the reason why you're important is because you live 450 feet away from where the where the river was, right?
Yes.
So I don't understand why they paid your medical bills at 450 feet away, but they won't pay someone else's medical bills at 250 feet away. And I mean, I know the truth. There's a 1,000-foot mandatory evacuation, because if they were telling the truth that 200 foot was their limit of where it affects people, then they wouldn't have paid your medical bills.
Right.
But because they paid your medical bills, you are proof that these chemicals hurt people past 200 feet.
Right.
I had a physical just in 2009, and I was totally cleared. I was in good health. And in 2010, I ended up with my liver count up.
Well, it's because of the oil. I know that, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But Enbridge is going to deny it.
And they told me that we're not a medical company. We don't have.
No, they're a get you sick company, give you cancer company, ruin your life company. You die before you're supposed to, so you don't see your grandkids grow up company. Yeah, this is a really good company, Enbridge. I'm really disgusted with you, Enbridge. As I said, Pat Daniels, I've seen you in person. You don't impress me any. I don't appreciate all the lies you've told my community, saying you're going to clean it up properly. Then I approve and am told to cover it up, and I prove you've covered it up. You sicken me, and now you're telling us in court that you don't deserve to help us. It's not your fault. You guys are making so much profit, and then you are making us sick, and you're putting us in the hospital, and you're going to give us cancer, and people are having, some people have died, and some people have had miscarriages, but you don't say it's because of you. Because like this gentleman just said, you're not a medical company. No, you're a get people sick company, ruin their lives, and you deny any responsibility for it. You know what? Your company, I try to give you credit sometimes, but the more and more I hear of the lies that you've told people and the things you're doing to these people, God, it makes me despise your company. You sicken me. Enbridge, I hope the whole world knows from my videos what you are doing to these residents. It's sad. And you go from spill to spill and you do the same exact thing. And I'm the only person that's ever stood up to you that I know of. Go ahead and kill me, do whatever you want to me, but I am not going away until I'm dead. So you better get it done quick if you want me to shut up.
I just don't understand how they could do something like this and just leave it alone. Like I say, no doctors, no testing whatsoever. the EPA comes and parks in front of my trailer at 12 o'clock at night so nobody can see them testing out there. Then the EPA comes here and tells us that everything is okay when we know it's not. Why are they testing in the middle of the night if everything's okay?
Exactly. So at any point in time, did you ever go to a hotel?
No, I couldn't afford it.
You never went to a hotel?
No.
And you're 5 foot from the oil?
Yes.
I'm so mad right now. So, what do you want Enbridge to do now to help you?
I don't know what they can do to help us. We do have health issues. I mean, yeah, it's not going to do no good now. They should have paid out some kind of money so we could have moved to some other place without trying to be cheap about it. They should have gave us the money to go to a hotel. But no, they wouldn't do that. They decided if we can't afford it, that's just tough. So,
what do you want me to tell EPA and Enbridge? What do you want me to do to make them do things right? What do you think I can do to help? I know it's a tough question.
Get people to understand that they let people live in an unsafe environment. I mean, that was just wrong. And maybe enough people will get pissed off and get mad about this to where they'll be forced to do something now, which is a little bit too late.
Where we live, they just now started cleaning the river by us, the floodplains. Last week, Sacred River Park.
Okay.
Last week they started cleaning the oil. They said wasn't there. Yeah.
I'll put you on our way home from work. I don't mean to upset you further.
You didn't.
Okay.
They didn't. We can take you and show you. They just started digging it up. You know, and they're saying it's not dangerous. Why are we still getting sick? And they won't give me answers. Oh, it's clean, it's safe, it's this, it's that. Live here then. Tell me it's clean and it's safe. Live here and eat what comes out of that river. Swim in that river and tell me it's safe.
Yeah, I hear you. I know what you mean. I've been talking to a lot of people that are going through the same thing.
And then Enbridge tells me I live too far away from the river to be affected by it. And I can throw a rock in the river. That's how close I live. I'm pissed. Turn it up, please. John?
Hey, you know they need to see it.
So you gonna bail me out?
Am I gonna? Yeah, I'll bail you out.
All right.
When I get my unemployment check.
Well.
And he pays his bills first, right?
Yeah.
Phyllis, I'll make this a priority to get down there and talk to you. Okay.
All right. I will talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you.
That was Lisa LaPlante with Channel 17. Yeah, Phyllis, they need to see this stuff.
I know. Are they still running at the jaws in there?
Nope, they're done.
I'm back in. I come up with little pimples on my arms. And they break out. I never had that. Never.
Have you seen the doctor now?
Yeah.
He says she's not going to make it to her 50th birthday because of this oil spill from the chemicals. That's what he told her.
Excuse me, sir. What's your name? I'm Richard.
My name's John Bolenbaugh, and I'm her friend.
Yeah. It's affected me more than you I see it. And your company says it's not harmful. But yet, like I said, I'm not going to make it to my 50th birthday. I'm 49 years old. You like your life shortened that much?
No. Call me tomorrow.
Would you take your grandkids?
I'd love to learn more about
Would you take your grandkids to the river? Would you take your kids to the river?
So once the health department's deemed illegal to be safe, then folks can use it.
It's not safe though. And I'll be damned. My last breath will keep that river closed.
Well, the ban is still in effect right now.
It'll be closed until the day I die. If I have to die, it will never reopen. People should have to go through what I've been through.
I do hope you do.
But it's, according to everybody, it's safe. Live in where I live. Breathe what I have to breathe and then tell me it's safe.
Two questions. Do you guys still have oil odors?
Yes.
In the community? Okay. Now, you saw the screenshots that we had of it.
Yes.
One of the things that
they just last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they just started cleaning.
Took the oil from there. That oil's been there for over a year, and they kept telling us, "Well, there's no oil there. There's no oil there." Bullshit.
No, we know there's oil. We know there's oil. And if you saw on the map, I mean, that's mile point 13, I believe.
Right there,
13.0. Yeah, yes, that's mile point 13. We know there's overbank oil there. We know there's.
And we're not only on the one side of Baker's, but we're surrounded by it.
And we also have set up air monitoring stations and air sampling stations.
I see that.
So, unfortunately, all I can tell you, and I don't know what to tell you about your condition. There's a lot of health. I'm not a doctor.
Just explain to my grandkids when I'm gone why Grandma's gone.
What I can tell you is that we have committed to continue to collect information, collect samples, do monitoring, and if we do see anything that suggests that there's a problem.
There's a problem there. 5 people are dead. I've got stores all over.
We can only deal with the information that's given to us.
And I lost one of my dogs I've had for 10 years. I had to put her to sleep because of her lungs, because of the benzene. She was in that whole thing the whole time that first started because I couldn't take her with me. Now she's gone.
I understand. Sorry about the loss. Again, we will commit to continue to investigate. That's what I can commit.
What I keep hearing. We'll commit. Nothing fucking ever happened.
I haven't been here since you were voted in. My name is John Bolenbaugh, and I'm one of the residents of the main victim of the oil spill. Over the last, I was a worker. We were told to cover up oil. I got fired. Long story short, I've been videotaping residents that are sick, lies that have been told by Enbridge, oil that's been covered up. Hadsma came out with me. All right. We have lots and lots of sores here. What do you think that's from?
Well, it started about the time of the oil spill, a couple weeks after, maybe 2 weeks after the oil spill, and I got bad breakouts, some of them in my groin, on my legs, all underneath my arms, and it was like a toxin my body was trying to get rid of, sometimes as much as an ounce of poison.
Right.
And the first times it just drove me crazy. I lost the that's another thing too. Last October I lost the nails on my foot, the toenails.
Right.
Which that hurt a lot too.
So that was right after this. So they weren't sick until the oil spill, and then as soon as the oil spill happened, within a month, both of those people died, right?
Exactly.
And
my daughter got sick, her son got sick, and we were all in the same place pretty much all the time, and they were both throwing up black stuff.
They were throwing up stuff?
Yes, black stuff.
Wow.
Michelle got pictures. Yeah, she's got pictures. She's got our paperwork from the hospital. My daughter was sick, and she stayed sick for like 3 months from it. And her fever still, to this day, will go up for no reason at all. She'll get headaches. My son's getting headaches now. He's missed so much school this year and last year because of it. It's not funny.
Has Enbridge offered you guys any money?
Nope.
Why not? Why wouldn't they? I mean, you guys live right next to the oil spill.
But they weren't doing anything about the oil spill until we actually brought it to the media's attention. I had it on Channel 3 and Channel 8. That was the only way to get anybody's attention out here. We were here for almost 2 weeks before they even volunteered to move us anywhere.
So they didn't, I mean, you're well within 200 feet. They didn't try to evacuate you?
No, they did not. We had to call them for a volunteer evacuation. They were not going to do that.
So they didn't evacuate you, and you're talking about you complained, and it took them 2 weeks of you complaining before they even talked to you.
Yep, before they even talked to us. My house smelled like fuel oil so bad for the first 2 weeks, and it was awful. You couldn't breathe. It got so hard to breathe. It hurt to breathe. We went into the hospital, oh my God, I don't know how many times. We've been in there, we've had our kids in there, and yet and still, you know, they're trying to say, oh, it could have been the flu. It can't be the flu when they're throwing up black stuff, you know, and they would not relate it to this. But my daughter never gets sick and my son never gets sick, so I know it's due to this.
Have they paid for your medical bills?
No. Medicaid is paid for my medical.
Well, so our taxes are paying for it when Enbridge should be paying for it.
Right.
That is just not right. I'm sorry that you've been sick, and I hope I can do something about helping you guys. Do you have any rash or sores? Did you ever get that?
Yes, I have petechial hemorrhages that I've been unable to. They come and go.
And there's one up there.
Yes.
And some over there.
Yes, and I have some here.
All right, this is Mike and Tammy. I'm at Firekeepers Casino. We were hanging out, and I walked up on these guys, and they wanted to tell me something. What did you say about, now, all the snow melted, everybody, and so when it melted, what's going on with your area?
What had happened is, with all the snow melting and a little bit of rain that we had,
It's your fault, dude.
we live in Baker Trailer Park, and the water actually, when the river overflows, all the backwater comes up to our yard. We're 28 foot from the water. And since this has happened, we've both been terribly sick, coughing, hacking, having a hard time breathing, feeling dizziness.
Dehydrated.
There's a number of things.
What's your name, sir?
George Ledbetter.
All right. And what happened to you?
I live 400 feet away from the river. Denied help. And I lost an uncle due to lung problems.
You believe it's because of the oil spill?
Absolutely.
It affected it.
Right. Well, it affected it, but see what happens is a lot of people, they have, like, let's say they have asthma or something. When you have all these toxic chemicals, what do you think's going to happen? It's going to kill you.
Exactly. It's just made it worse for him. He probably would have lasted another 5 years, maybe. But with this oil spill, it just... And he works outside, and he's got sores on his arms.
Yeah, a lot of people get those sores all the time from the oil.
See, he's got them all over him. And I believe it's...
But her daughter got mysteriously sick. No idea. She's like 20-something years old and really sick. And she said she died in the helicopter ride, Life Care. Died once, and they got her back, but it was a lung thing. It was something with her lungs.
And the thing is, when they go to trial and it's proved that it's a 1,000-foot mandatory evacuation, everybody's going to win. I'm telling you, you're going to win. You got to get a lawyer, even if you're only getting 10, 15 grand, whatever. Everybody needs to do that because the only way to stop these guys is to get in their pocketbooks.
Their pockets are so deep, it's disgusting.
But they go from city to city and do this.
Right.
Chicago, New York, they have spills all the time. They
just had that spill in Illinois right after this one.
They've spilled 7 million gallons in the last 10 years. 7 million. And it's killing
I got 1 million of them right here.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more than that.
I do too, absolutely.
Because they're saying for 12 hours they pushed oil through. Well, if the oil was smelled 2 days before then, that means that it could be double or triple of what it was because they're only doing that 12-hour period.
And the estimate they're given for that measurement is conservative.
Yeah.
You know, if they're claiming it was 12 hours, they're being conservative and lying, I'm sure, about how much came out. I mean, this happened in Marshall. We're in Emmett Township over here.
Yeah.
which had to been, a full body scan and stuff. And they found a massive tumor in there. Was not there before. But I mean, the oil spill and everything, and her health, it went in there, and it was so big it cut off her airway.
Yeah.
Her carotid artery on her neck, and it swelled up her face. She bloomed.
Okay.
And it was miserable. She could not hardly see because of it. That. We think it may have had something to do with it, but we did not check into saying, was this caused by ambergris, oil, blah, blah.
It's ridiculous. I just woke up today at 2 o'clock. How did I do that? I don't know. It's just, I can't get any rest. I don't have an appetite. I have very bad headaches. My respiratory situation is completely worse than it ever been. My kids are starting to develop all that. My son has chest pains. I took him to the hospital, x-rays. They can't see anything that's wrong with it. Those come and go off and on whenever they come. Just a lot of headaches is going on our problems, and memory loss and breathing problems. So just wondering, how, are we going to be, we're human too, we have problems, we have kids, we need to live just like how they're living, they're going on with their lives happy, and we're still living next to a river with oil in it, and it's not right.
I smelled that chemical for at least 60 days.
Yep.
It was strong. I'm telling you, I almost passed out twice.
Yeah.
2 times I was like, whoa, and it was like, man, I'm not feeling right. So I went in the house, but I'm telling you, YouTube, oh man, I'm not wanted anywhere, YouTube. So you caught me at, I could vent so much about this. It's unreal.
Well, you got about another minute or two.
I'm done.
You're done?
Somebody help me. I have proof that these people just basically ignored me.
So who's that?
Enbridge Company, the one who spilled oil all through here in Battle Creek, Michigan.
And they did what? They ignored you?
Oh, they're just ignoring me to this day.
So I had those before, but now they are quintuple the size that they were. I'm having problems with my breathing. I'm throwing up constantly. I have to get medication to eat. I've lost 70 pounds since I saw started.
Wow.
That's 40 in 3 months.
You think it's from the oil?
Yeah.
I believe it is, but I just want...
I think it's aspartame speeding up my illness, and they've noticed some problems with my lungs that I never had before.
Right. And I believe that's from all the chemicals you breathe in.
Yep.
What do you want to tell Enbridge in the last 30 seconds that we have of this?
That they need to make it right.
And what do you mean by make it right?
Clean this mess up and start compensating people for what they've done.
And what do you think about what I'm doing?
I think what you're doing is right.
So you're out at Ceresco and you see them working.
Yeah.
Did you ever see where they said it was clean?
Oh yeah, and it wasn't, because I could see it. Machines.
So back in October, you're a witness to them saying that they cleaned it.
Because Mrs. Moore, who lives right there on the river, I go and take care of her and help her out. And she has been there since day one. And they should have paid for her to go to a rehab center or something.
Oh, she never got a hotel room or nothing?
Oh, she's on oxygen and she's on a walker. She's 85 years old. She's basically shut in.
And they made her stay there?
They just told her, only go outside for 5 minutes at a time.
Wow. So that's like prison. Their company made her basically stay in a cell and stay there for months and months.
Yeah.
And she wasn't allowed to come out.
Yeah. Give her an air purifier and that was it.
That's all they gave her was the air purifier.
Yeah. It doesn't.
I hope she sues the heck out of them because they never evacuated her.
Yeah.
And she lives probably 20 feet from the river.
20 feet from the river, and they have never evacuated the lady. And there's a good chance that she's probably going to die a lot sooner because she lived right in these chemicals.
She's got congestive heart failure. She's on walker. She's on oxygen. I mean...
right next to ground zero. The oil is coming right through where they planted grass. Can you see that? Right through. This is all oil. And they're planting grass on top of it, and it's seeping through. It's horrible. I can't believe they're doing this to my community. It's just oil just coming right through. And they don't seem to care. They just put this cloth on it, and then they plant grass, and then after the grass grows, they'll deny that it was ever there. Horrible. Makes me sick to my stomach. This is all oil. Okay? Can you see how deep I am? My whole leg is buried. It's not easy to get out, but this grass is covering it up for you. Alright? I'm just telling you, it's here. It's going to get in your wells. This is the truth. August 21st, just again showing you the canvas that they put over the top of this entire area, and then you see the grass will grow through. Do you see how it grows through? That's what happened in this entire area. See? I mean, it's the whole area is like that. It's all through here, everywhere. That's how they cover it up. Now, this is 100% proof. It doesn't make any logical sense to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to plant grass over the top of something that you're going to redig up. They didn't expect me to come out here and make them redig this up. So, if you could hold this for me, Cass, I'm going to show you something. Okay, I'm going to bounce around. You see how it is? It's all loose and bounce around. See this tarp that they put over the top of it? It's that tarp, just like over there. This whole area is like that. Now, I'm going to break through it. I got the newspaper from the 16th, but it's actually the 21st, but at least you know it's this week. So, now I'm going to cut my way through.
Oh my God.
See, it supports me until I cut through. And then
Oh my God.
you will see.
Oh my God.
Hard to get out of.
Oh my God.
Careful. And that's all oil, John.
Yep, well, it's mixed with mud.
Right.
But the way you can prove it 100% is this winter it won't freeze.
Right.
Last winter I fell in the stuff equally, just on the other side. The whole area is like this. So, and I mean, it's all oil. And I actually took samples, and we actually we super glued the lid shut on it, and they're at home, and the outside is completely full of oil. So when it separated, the oil connected to the outside, and the mud released itself in the middle. Yeah, this is all contaminated.
Unbelievable. You know, I've never seen dirt that black before.
Well, now you've seen oil and dirt. So.
Unbelievable.
Now I know if I dig up in here, it's not going to be the same color. To show you what real dirt looks like that's not contaminated. All right. You see
Good
that?
look at that. See, it's got fresh roots, some nice foliage here. It crumbles really good.
All right, let's turn around and let's walk over to where the oil's coming out. Okay, we already showed right here where the oil's coming out. But
Wow.
do you see the difference in color?
Oh, well, the biggest thing I can see is that the regular dirt is like a no sheen to it. This here, you can see the reflection from the sun. It has a glossiness to it because that oil, that dirt there, has the oil in it. Where this dirt is just regular dirt.
Can you see that whole area moving? The whole area underneath this canvas is all full of oil. All of Talmadge Creek, this whole area, we're talking about, I mean, 50 acres worth of area that is covered with grass that has oil underneath it. And you'll never know it. Look, you can't tell unless you come down here and dig a hole.
Yeah.
It's the only way you're going to know. So they can bring press out here all they want. They bring people out here, kids, whoever they want. They'll never know unless they dig underneath it.
Yeah, and like I said, John, you know, our animals that we hunt and trap live out here and they drink the water.
To show you, December 17th, 2010, Jim Hodsma is the county commissioner, and he received a letter from Enbridge because we went out to some areas. They said they weren't going to clean them, but I kept complaining and finally got them clean. But back then, it says, while EPA believes that nearly all of the oil from the oil spill has been recovered. Alright? They said back in December that they believed that almost all of it was recovered. Well, then after I proved it wasn't, guess what? Now they're saying there's 120 different sites in the water that have massive amounts of oil that they have to clean up, and it might take years. My complaining did work, no matter what they say.
Dirt and filling in, encapsulating the sludge that was on as soon as the river went down. And they covered up with about 6 inches of earth and clay, and then compact it, and then covered up with straw and throw zinnia seeds on. It's what they did this spring.
You mean grass, right?
It looks more like a zinnia's flower mix.
Okay.
Because they're big, tall things. They just started to bloom, and a lot of them are zinnias.
All right.
There may be some grass in that, but it was like a wildflower mix that was annual wildflowers to cover up the mess. So it didn't look so much like they were just throwing straw and raw dirt on it.
So they were actually putting dirt over the top of oil, then planting grass over the top of that.
Right. They didn't. You always hear how on the news they're sopping it up, but they didn't sop it up. They covered it up.
Did you complain about it?
They ruined it. You can't use the water. They chase you off. You go down to the river.
Yeah.
You get a ticket if I guess you go fishing.
Yeah.
And then you paid for your fishing license, and now you can't use it.
That's right. You don't want to eat the fish.
No more anyways. But yes, I did. I lived a lot off my land and off the fish, the stock fish that
right prior to this. But
and
right
I used to have minnows that you could catch minnows down here and sell them to the bait shops with a minnow with a license. But now you can't do anything.
So you lost part of your livelihood.
Well, a lot of it.
Yeah. And well, tell me why you're mad at them.
Well, they wouldn't even come down here. They cleaned on the other side of the river where the linear park trail is. And they made it look real good, but they closed the roads off, wouldn't let people down there. They would chase you off. They had their own guards. They wouldn't let you come down there. They were covering up a lot of the stuff.
What do you mean covering up?
They were putting stuff, they were like saying they were digging up all the ground and putting new on, but a lot of times they were just putting stuff down, and they were using
about oil that you saw covered up. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, there was many loads, and we think about 400.
400 loads of dirt?
Dirt dumped in that river area right where we're at, and they were covering up the oil. They weren't getting rid of it. And we called the Enquirer News and told them about it, and they just ignored us, so we didn't do anything further.
So they put gravel and sand over the oil in
the top
in the river.
Yeah.
Without digging it out.
Right. And along the bank.
Wow.
Between 2 and 3 a.m., saying that she had thrown up and wasn't feeling well, and as soon as we woke up,
she threw up?
The smell was just
wow.
horrible. It was a beautiful day. Night came, it cooled down, so we opened the windows and had some fans running, and the entire house smelled like a tank full of parts cleaner solvent. Really heavy solvent smell. Everyone before morning became nauseous.
We called. We actually called Emmett Township that night, in the middle of the night.
Yep, called 911. Did you call 911 or how that?
I don't think I called the emergency number. I think I just called the information line, and said we hadn't watched the news and known that the pipe had broken, and so we were told that it was due to the oil spill. That was what we were smelling, and I had asked at that point if we were in any danger, and they said there's been no evacuation issued as of yet, and that was kind of the information that Emmett Township gave us at the time.
Does it feel to you like there should have been an evacuation? I mean, as strong as the smell was, and your child puking, and
well, yeah, and I mean that night, and then for how many weeks we would shut the house down, open the house up, shut the house down, open the house up, and I mean there was no escaping, whether it was inside or outside, the fumes. We actually did call to try and get a hotel room because we had heard about that. And
on the 28th.
On the 28th and couldn't.
They said that all the rooms were either filled with folks who had contacted them already or were going to be reserved for contractors coming in from out of town.
So, wait a minute. So the contractors were more important than the residents that were living in this?
We were told that the hotel rooms that they had secured were all full with contractors and folks from out of town.
Wow, they should have been sleeping in tents or trailers or whatever. Enbridge is a $30 billion company. They should have spent the money for you to be in that hotel.
The other part of that, too. I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
Well, I was just trying to explain that these hotel rooms were. My friend works at a hotel, and she said that Enbridge had several rooms that were empty for a little bit because they were reserved. They could, this is a good example that you could have been in there. You have children, and they forced your children to stay in this. Are you afraid your kids might get cancer now from being around this?
I'm very afraid.
What do you have to say to Enbridge about that?
I really hope they keep up with the well testing. I hope they make this right. I hope they protect the people whose lives they have disrupted. Thinking about the hell that I went through, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. Thinking that my children might have to go through that someday because of negligence, because they put profit above safety, is absolutely ridiculous. And I know that they have shareholders that they want to pay.
Well,
that's what they're in business for. But if I were a shareholder of Enbridge and I knew what was going on, I would sell it no matter how profitable it was because of the way they've treated people.
My other son, he coughed all night, every night. We've been in the hospital for a week straight. He hasn't coughed one time. It is in oil. I live on Jackson Street. My back porch is right on the river, and I'm mad about it. So if anybody can help me, I need a lawyer. I never signed off on anything. My kids need help. I need help. We need help. If anybody can help me, you let me know. And my name's Emily, and I'm going to be over there for a while.
Simple Sue. The reason why her video is going to be very important is because we have people that live next to where the spill was. I mean, like right next to it and work next to it. And we're talking about in Marshall, Michigan, at the beginning of Talmadge Creek there.
Oh, I've already had my life threatened. I've already had my life threatened. I've been fouled home, okay? And I called the police, and they laughed in my face. And please. Officer Bailey, he parks in front of the Urbandale schools every day, watching kids walk by. He laughed in my face when I told him. He did not believe me. The police don't believe me. No one believes me. And I know I'm scared for my kids. I'm scared for our lives right now. So I'm afraid to even say my last name right now. But I understand what he's going through. I have all his videotapes on my phone too.
All right, but what I was trying to get at is the people that live right next to the spill, the toxic level of benzene was 1,700 parts per billion. Only 6 is legal. So they were living in 1,700 parts per billion. Now, what surprised me is she just said they had a hotel for a month and a half.
Yes, 3 different hotels. Okay.
Well, let me get to my point 1 second.
Hotels, I was homeless 4 hours.
All right, so she had a place for a month and a half total. We have people that lived right next to it that never were given a hotel ever. Never. And they're super sick. I mean, like really sick. So 5 people in Baker Trailer Park have died already. And we have people that are right
else alive. She almost died. She had her baby early. She had to get a tube to pull her blood through out of her stomach, and she believes that's the reason why she almost, and her family almost died. And I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, but I'm right on the river, right across. I'm within 250 feet. They told me I was outside the limits. I am definitely. I live, my back porch, it's the road, and it's the river. I am right there. They lied to me. They lied to everybody. I talked directly to EPA. There is a test they can do. It costs $700, and they do not want to pay. I want it done, and I want it done today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else have anything to say? Come on up. Sorry if I interrupt anybody, but I'm not even joking. I forget things like short-term memory because I'm in this oil almost every day. I put about 40 hours a week in this river, in the oil, just to protect you guys, and I think I'm getting sick from it. But I have some memory loss, and sometimes interrupt you on purpose because if I don't tell you what I'm going to say, I'll forget, and you can ask my friends. So.
I stay on East Burnham Street, and I have 4 children. My 15-year-old, who has never been sick before in her life, started having seizures. She started having breathing problems. She's been diagnosed with having migraines and tics all of a sudden. And the doctors are saying these seizures are pseudo seizures because they're non-epileptic. So I don't know who's going to help us with this problem, but what else do we do? You know what I'm saying? And then my other children, they just don't feel well. All of a sudden, I don't feel well. We can't remember anything. It's just like not feeling well. And I wanted to know...
Health problems somewhere down the road, and they haven't offered no medical assistance or anything. And I'm bad enough to where I die, I can't fight for their rights.
So they haven't even tested your children's blood to see. I mean, they lived right next to it and they were never evacuated. They haven't tested them?
Seems like it should be a mandatory test. Seems like they should send them to a doctor, not their doctor, a doctor of our choice.
Wow. That's scary. So all these kids in this trailer park are fending for themselves because the parents are trying to do something, but they can't afford to do anything, and Enbridge won't pay for it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is. We'd have to pay for a doctor ourselves. We'd have to pay for any kind of admission and anything.
Tell everybody, this is important. People don't know this. A lot of people have attorneys, and they have gag orders. They're not allowed to speak out because the attorneys just request that. Then you have a lot of people that have settled privately with Enbridge, and they sign these confidentiality agreements so they can't talk. So what happens then is you have the majority of people on the river that cannot speak out, and I'm speaking for them. These videos are speaking for the people and the victims that can't speak out for themselves. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do to help. Well, thank you for helping me out with this video. This will help other people in the future. There's other spills that have happened and that will happen, and these people need to see what these companies do, so that way we can all as a group work together to better our environment, better the health of the people that are around these spills, and make sure there's mandatory evacuations, and hold these companies accountable for what they're doing. Is there anything that you would like to add before we're done with this?
It's hard feeling helpless when you have 2 kids, and there's nothing that you can do about it because you can't afford to do anything about it in the first place. You got the poor going up against the rich, so we just look like we're greedy if we try to do anything at all. Thank you for your time, Jeff.
And your river's right behind your house?
It's less than 100 yards behind my house.
100 yards, all right. And so what did Enbridge, how long did it take them to get here?
Well, about a month.
About a month. And they didn't do any cleanup for a month.
No, they didn't even come by here. They didn't do nothing until I started putting stuff on the lawn over here and telling them they're a bunch of idiots.
Oh, so you're putting signs out here?
Right there on the lawn where they was flying over, they seen it.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
said free oil on the side of them down here running back. They said, well, I had no claim because there's a little short piece of property between my property and the oil spill. Well, I hate to tell you, but the water was up over the banks when this oil hit.
Yep, and the oil was on your property.
And it just happened to go down enough where it didn't come up on my property, but run right up this culvert and heading towards these people's property.
There's a culvert right here, and the oil actually came all the way through here.
You can see the sheen going all the way through there.
So he did have oil on his property, but of course Enbridge wants to say what they can say.
Yep. Now they're building this boat launch down there. I mean, they got money to do this. Thank you very much, but they don't have enough money to clean this smelly stuff up. Come down here and visit me for a while after dark. They'll smell it.
What do you think about their cleanup processes and procedures? All right, tell me more about it.
When they can come behind your house and start shooting guns. They shot off 6 shots, then they end up to 6 more, and I said, I guess Enbridge would like to talk about this thing here. I went up there, and at that time there wasn't nobody around, so I didn't go back. But and then you got them sitting over here. I don't know what they're doing in the corners over here, but that, it just ticks me off.
And did anybody in your family ever get sick?
Well, I went to the doctor once, but I didn't call Enbridge on it because I got asthma, and and I take inhalers, and this stuff don't do me no good here. So.
Right. Did you feel that it was harder to breathe because of it?
Oh, you betcha.
So you went through a lot of hell basically because of this.
For a while, I did.
My grandson and I always would take my mule and go up and down the river all the time, right?
Yeah.
My brother owns this property across the street from us.
All right.
So after the spill, me and my grandson go across the river and come back, and he's got, looks like it's a rash on his face or something. You know what I mean? We don't have any idea what it is or anything. End up taking him to the doctor. The doctor says, well, it's not poison oak. It's not any of your normal rashes that you would get. And he says, he says he'd be scratching it, he'd be this, he'd be that. And so we just keep him away from the river for a while. Well, me and him loved going over there and playing and everything. And my wife and my grandson's mother said, Dad, don't take him over there. No more, it must be the oil. And I didn't believe it. I was thinking that it wasn't nothing like that. So I took him back over there again. Same thing happened.
Yeah.
And along with the rash, he would always get a raspy throat and be sneezing and stuff like that and have a runny nose. And then I could get him back away from the river where we're at up here, and he wouldn't be quite like that. But him and my wife both, when this thing first happened especially, they both were what you'd almost call it a cold. You know what I mean?
That's what everybody got. Yeah.
Sneezing, runny noses, and for my wife, because she's got a low immune system, her energy was zapped.
Yep. I've been hearing that from everybody. They're weak. They're tired all the time. Their throat was hurting. Their lungs hurt.
That's what happened.
Dizzy. They kept forgetting things.
Dizzy. My wife was dizzy.
Puking.
I was prescribed. My doctor prescribed me an inhaler because I was having trouble breathing, but he just thought it was because I tend to have bronchitis.
You know, that's the thing about this whole thing that we're talking about. is, you know, it's just like being diagnosed with a disease that eventually is going to kill you. You know what I mean? You sit around and you think, I wonder how bad this stuff is hurting me. You know, just like with the disease, you think, I wonder how long I'm going to live. You know what I mean? Then you got this out here, and you're hearing about all this stuff that's in the air, benzene in the air and all that, and you're wondering, you know what I mean? I wonder what this is really doing to me. Well, nobody's telling us what it's really doing to me. And from just talking to you, they won't even tell us what kind of chemicals are in the oil that they're putting out there for the people that do get sick. So what kind of a company are we dealing with? You know what I mean? These people aren't out to do what's right and make everybody whole. They're out to get out of it as cheap as they can. Obviously, you know that you worked for them and they told you to cover it up.
Yep, you're right.
With the billions of dollars that they make.
I'd at least like to know.
3 weeks.
5 different hotels in 3 weeks.
Yes, and one hotel was right across the river. It was closer to the river than my home was.
Wait a minute. So they actually put you in more danger saying that they were helping you by putting you in a hotel that was closer to the river than what you are right now?
Right.
And right now you're probably, I'm guessing, yeah, so you were closer than that.
Yep.
What are, these guys are, it's a big joke. Sometimes I want to laugh at them, but this is no laughing matter. This is sad.
What makes me pissed is they got all this money. They think they run over us because we're just little people, and they think we're after their money because every one of us here in this park are on fixed income, and they think we're after their money, but we're not. I want them to make it right.
And what do you want them to do to make it right?
Put people where they can breathe, where they can have a healthy life.
So you feel they've ruined your life?
Yeah, they have.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
What kind of quality life am I going to have on oxygen? You know, I'm 48 years old. I shouldn't be like that now.
No.
The specialist told me with the chemicals that are in the oil, I'm lucky if I see my 50th birthday. And they're saying, oh, it's not our fault, but it is their fault. Because I did not live around that chemicals. I wasn't exposed to those chemicals at any job I've ever done. I've never been exposed to them chemicals. But now I have to live with it.
Canada, with this pipe going through your area, you're going to have a leak, and you're going to have oil left behind, and you're going to have residents that are getting sick, and Enbridge won't help them because they don't care. They just care about profit. It's oil. This should have been done last year. This is going to go downriver and get in your wells. Don't believe them when they say this is cleaned up. My name is John Bolenbaugh, and my job was to clean up oil. It didn't end up like that. I was told to cover up oil, and I got mad and videotaped it. I mean, this is just full of oil over here. They don't care about this area because EPA has basically said don't worry about it, and Enbridge owns the property, so they didn't think no one was going to videotape this stuff. Right next to a red marker on the tree, EPA knows that it's here. They documented that it's here, and Enbridge came through here with workers. They see this flag, and they still don't clean it up. Underneath, this is all oil. All this black is oil. It's all oil. It's the newspaper, Battle Creek Inquirer. It's March 30th. All right, so then they can never lie and say that this happened last year or something. Yep. Well, as you see, I mean, I think I've showed you enough. There's oil all through this other side over here, too. I made $2,300 a week. So for me to complain and knowing I'm going to lose my job was not easy. Here comes Enbridge right here. You guys want to go say hi to them? They're going to take pictures. They're going to try to arrest me, but that's all right with me. I'm doing the right thing for my community. So if they want to throw me in jail for protecting my community, I will allow that. Yeah, they videotape me all the time. They harass me. The only reason they're not harassing me right now is because you guys are here. But normally, They'll yell at me and stuff like that. So, but I don't care about the intimidation they try to give me. They try to scare me away.
And what kind of intimidation have you received?
My tires, I'm not really sure what happened there. I just know I have 4-slash tires. I have had death threats. I know one for 100% fact was an Enbridge guy.
What's giving you the conviction? You know, why out of 1,800 workers do you think you're the only one who's stuck with this?
Why?
Yeah.
You know, I have a Bronze Star from the military. When I was in the Navy, I helped save a man's life. And I've tried to do some good things, but I've also messed up in my life. And when I saw the opportunity to do what is right and nobody else would for my future kids so they can be proud of their daddy, I went for it. And I'm not giving up. And the more I learn about Enbridge and the lies, and I have people come up to me crying and telling me how much Enbridge has hurt them and their family, they're giving me strength to keep doing this. All the thank yous I get on YouTube, that gives me the strength. So that's why I'm doing it. Here comes their helicopter right now.
They sent a helicopter?
They are now. They got a whole bunch of guys at the end down there. Let's go the back way, everybody. Come on, try to hurry. Let's go. I just don't want to confront them down there. Now, does it make any sense to you that if a company is not covering up oil or leaving oil that it's not supposed to, does it make any sense to send an entire helicopter with a crew that costs thousands and thousands of dollars? Plus, they got 3 trucks up here waiting for us. They sent a boat out. You're talking about probably $10,000 they spent today to come and find me because I am videotaping areas that have oil left in it.
So this right here is a hunter's stand, right here, right?
Yeah. Well, think about it. If the deer eat the grass and the grass has oil on it, where's it going? If the deer drink that creek water, where's it going? Hunter's going to kill that deer. Now he's got toxic oil inside of his body. Their kids are going to eat that. I mean, really, it's sad. I don't even know what to say sometimes. It's so disgusting. They got Enbridge people right at the driveway.
I need everybody's identifications. Why? This is Enbridge-owned property. They've been able to prove that to us. You're criminally trespassing. You've been asked to leave.
So there's no crime for them to leave all the oil?
Yeah, that is a crime, but you guys won't prosecute
nothing to do with that.
I understand. I know, but we need somebody to do it. Somebody.
Nobody's disputing that we had a major environmental issue and thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of oil were released into the Kalamazoo River.
Sir, that's not, I understand that. But my point is, Enbridge coordinator Jason Buford told us on that property to throw it in the woods, to put dirt over it, and to not touch oil that was there.
And this is when you were
that is a crime. Sir, just them calling let you know that there's something that they don't want us to see out here. Alright? Yeah. So what's going to happen in Canada when they put this pipe through is it's Santar oil. It's going to eat away at the inside of the pipe because it's abrasive like sandpaper over years, and plus you're going to have boulders fall. I mean, it's going to happen. You are going to have leaks, and one leak will kill everything. Every fish in our river died. Every fish. Every fish. I mean, so, and we had a lot of poor people that fish there every day in the summer to eat. There goes their livelihood. There goes their dinner.
I just want my kids and their father to be safe. I want to be healthy, and that is all I want. I'm not worried about any amount of money. I want my kids tested. They said it's $700. That would be 700 times 4, and we want tested, and we want tested today.
This river is nowhere by any means close to being up to par in regards to it being back to normal. And I don't even know if it can get back to normal, but I too hold those sentiments as well. Mr. Bolenbaugh, just so you know, me personally, I've always saw myself as a citizen or a resident first. This stuff up here, to me, I can't speak for them, and I'll speak for myself. This is simply the will of the Lord. So I don't want you to feel as if you are alone, and I do echo with what Commissioner Camp says. Everybody has different methods and strategies on how to get it done. But I will say this, you're very necessary. You are an individual who will agitate, and our strategies might be a little different, but we're all shooting for the same goal, and that's for health and wellness of people of this community. So I just wanted you to know that, okay? But also, I want to make for sure that as a governing body that we also do a thorough examination in regards.
John Bolenbaugh, this is Commissioner Todd, County Commissioner in Marshall, Michigan, where the spill happened. I have a serious question for you. Have I made a difference, do you think, in the cleanup efforts of the EPA and Enbridge?
Absolutely. One of the things that I mentioned during our meeting is that you being very necessary in order for things to really progress and get to where we need them to get. Sometimes it takes an individual like yourself. That's exactly what Dr. King was. And that's exactly what Malcolm X were. That's exactly what Al Sharpton is now. I mean, those are people who were bold enough and confident enough that they were doing the right thing to make the difference in the lives of people. Because ultimately it points back to people, John. I mean, it has nothing to do with my status as a commissioner, but more so as a man of God. I mean, that is most important, and sometimes you have to do whatever it takes. But like I mentioned also that our strategies may be different, but you're necessary because of the things that you've done. Now you're getting the results that we're looking for now, and even though it was slow getting there, but it still brought the attention to try to correct the wrong. Commissioner Heisman, same way. He made a comment that this year outside his office, now he's starting to see Enbridge actually go out to the river in certain parts of the river that he's at to start trying to clean up process there, which in the previous year they weren't there before. So he commended you as well on being the one that actually made the difference to that. So I commend you, man. I mean, this is for people. This is for the livelihood of people.
Well, thank you. It's important to me to have, especially a politician, say that what I am doing is making a difference, because it's been really hard when the EPA and Enbridge say that everything I'm doing is nothing, that I haven't helped, and I know different, but they got to protect their pocketbooks and their reputation.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I do want to point out too is that in times past, to my knowledge, it was no recognition or no acknowledgement that there was even any submerged oil in the beginning. But now, as we saw in the news and in the newspaper, and even when I spoke to them at a previous meeting, now they're acknowledging that there is still an amount of submerged oil, and now it's going to continue to take maybe years to get it cleaned up. So,
and that was because I took the press out there and made complaints and showed videos, and yeah.
So, I mean, you're to be commended what you're doing. I mean, as long as you believe in something wholeheartedly, stick with it. Don't allow any devil to come between you and what you believe in. And so, but we commend you, man. I commend you personally. All right? Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner. August 3rd, Battle Creek Inquirer. It's John Bolenbaugh. Here's Tyler. And what we're going to do is show you that oil was buried in Talmadge Creek. Okay? They put sand over the top of all this oil. Do you see no sheens coming up when I do that? No sheen. So the sand that they put over it is not contaminated. All right? It didn't flow downriver. They put it here. They put it here for the press, because the press will come right up through here, and they want the press to look at this, and it looks nice and clear. But this was 2 foot of mud and oil back before, and I'm going to prove that to you in other areas, but I'm going to show you the oil that is left here. Okay, I'm going to dig a hole. It's going to take me a minute. And this is just in one small spot. You see all that coming up?
Oof. That's disgusting.
They buried it.
can smell it too.
John Bolenbaugh. It's April 15th, Detroit Free Press. Use the newspaper, as you know, to document the date so Enbridge can't lie. Okay, we just came out here. Look at how bad this creek is. This is Enbridge owned property. EPA knows it's here. Look at all this. Look at how bad this is. I mean, the entire creek is just full of massive amounts of oil that our animals are drinking and dying from. And the deer you're going to give your kids this next year is going to have this pollutants in their body.
What about the fish?
There ain't no fish living in this.
No fish living here?
They can't. It's so bad. I got a clean glove, and just to show you, I'm going to pick up some oil. Just clumps of it. I mean, you see, it's just everywhere through here. Is that oil?
Looks like oil to me.
All right. Hear that? This is Jesse Stauffer, and he. I was talking one day, and he overheard me talking, and he said he wanted to know more. He tries to help the environment in any way he can, and he's a resident of Marshall, Michigan, and he's mad. And after showing him all this, he's now furious. It is super, super bad. Right on Enbridge property.
This is just one of many spots that we found, though, that you've shown me.
Oh yeah, this is just a small spot. It's all through here.
All through here. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. I can't believe this would be allowed. This is supposed to be cleaned up? Huh?
That's what they say.
Cleaned up?
That's what they say.
What are all these...
What are all the flags?
The flags and the ribbons.
Well, just to show everybody, well, I'll do a little close-up. You see the red flags mean super bad. Then we got orange and we got pink with black. They're everywhere through here. They're all over the place. I mean, see? Now, I came through here and sprayed orange spray paint on these areas because what's going to happen is the grass is going to grow and it's going to cover up the oil that's left on these leaves and on the ground. And then Enbridge it'll be hard to find it. So that's Enbridge's goal. The grass will cover all the soil up. They'll never clean it. But it's still here. All right, we're about ready to leave this area. We've already been through here. We found tons of oil that they've left. The whole creek's full of it. They won't clean it. This is just an opening. This is my very first video I ever made right here. It's super bad. And the reason why I came to this area is because I knew it was here because they told us not to clean it. So I just got a little bit of smudge on my glove, just showing you. I mean, I keep doing this over and over. It's all here. This place is just full of oil. Yep, that's going to get in your kids' bodies after they eat venison from this area. It's all Enbridge. You just saw some videos that I showed you. What's your opinion on the videos?
The opinion is absolutely crazy. I saw with my own eyes. You verified the date. You showed me a location that was in April of 2011, but then you come back in August, same spot, covered up, grass growing, plain and simple. There's mud. There's absolutely there's oil there. So to me, I'm the type of guy who don't like a lot of smoke screens. Just get to the truth, and so I commend you. I appreciate you showing me that. But just stay with the fight, man. You gotta stay in there because it's something you believe in, and it's the right thing to do. You know, sometimes doing the right thing is not the most popular thing, but it's the right thing to do.
So you breathed in the worst chemicals known to mankind that's caused from this oil for an entire month, and you're right next to it, in the worst place. This is the worst place to be, because down the river, 20 miles, there's still oil. It still smelled bad, but it's nothing compared to how bad it was here. This is the worst.
Yeah, because it was a pond. It was just a regular pond over there of oil.
Just of oil, and I'm actually, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. And
I started smelling it Saturday night.
Saturday night. And what day are they saying it happened?
And they said it happened on Monday.
Right. So.
But Sunday is when they started getting the complaints.
Right. And so you're saying it happened 2 days before they reported it. And this is what other people have said. And I'm going to get some more people to, to testify to that. But this gentleman was right here. He's right next to the spill. He's actually the closest house.
Emily Galoob.
Emily, can't hear you.
Emily Galoob.
And what is your story?
My story is that my son came down the stairs and said he could not breathe and his chest hurt. I called the doctor directly. I went to the doctor the same day. The doctor called Enbridge themselves. They told the doctor that there is no test. The very next day, I stopped EPA myself, and he said, get out now, keep calling, they're lying to you.
He said Enbridge is lying?
They said Enbridge is lying.
So
the EPA said Enbridge is lying to get out. And so we got out, and they put us in a hotel in Kalamazoo before they even set up the Commerce Building. I had a free ride in a limo back and forth, Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, every single day. They paid for my ride, they paid for my laundry, they paid for my food, they paid for everything I needed. My kids, me and my 2 4-year-old, 7-year-old were stuck in a hotel room with 1 bed for 2 weeks. Then they put us out, moved us to another hotel because they had a pool at the other hotel. We were homeless for 4 hours in Kalamazoo. So then they moved us to a 3rd hotel in Battle Creek, the Baymont, which is still close to the river. So we went in there. They said they were serving food and everything. We got out of it. That's as close as my house is.
Yeah.
Also, a month ago today, I had to give my children's father CPR myself to save his life. He had 1 seizure in front of the kids at home, and I gave him CPR. He stopped breathing. The fire department came. He came back to. He had 7 more at the hospital. They moved him from the 2nd floor to critical care. His blood pressure was between 20 and 40. He was going to die. They had put him on every tube they could to keep him alive. They sedated him for 5 days. He was knocked out. I held his hand for 5 days straight, and he woke up 5 days later.
So did he stay in the hotel with you?
No, he was not allowed to stay in the hotel with me because he was not on the lease.
So wait a minute. So he was not on the lease, but he stayed at your house?
Yes.
So he stayed in the oil spill, basically?
Yes.
And
my back porch is across the street from the river. It is less than 50